Hello and welcome back to The Pulse. This week's gaming news is packed. Fragpunk is finally hitting PS5, Zenless Zone Zero is launching on Xbox with a big update, and Nintendo's stocking up on Switch 2 consoles for the big US release. Plus, Xbox is expanding Play Anywhere to get more players in on the action, and Bloodborne producer is kicking off a new studio. Moves in the industry, however, Tequila Works is auctioning off its game rights after bankruptcy. Then there's the controversial side. Ubisoft's telling the Crew players they never really owned the game, and a UK minister is slamming Steam for hosting a game with some seriously questionable content. With that, let's dive in. NetEase has just locked in a console release date for its fast-paced, free-to-play multiplayer shooter Fragpunk. It's coming to PlayStation 5 on April 29th. After a last-minute delay, the company has made the announcement with a brand new trailer showcasing a mix of high-octane gameplay and slick cinematics. Now, if Fragpunk hasn't hit your radar yet, here's the hook. The game shakes things up with a unique card system. Players can activate cards mid-match to trigger over-the-top effects that completely bend the rules of the game. With over 100 cards in play and 10 players per match, expect absolute controlled chaos. And that's not all. Fragpunk also brings a full hero shooter experience to the table, offering 12 unique characters, each with their own specialized abilities. Matches are designed to be quick and intense, with short time to kill and rounds lasting under 3 minutes. Perfect for those who like their action fast and their strategy sharp. Even better, Fragpunk supports crossplay and cross-progression with PC, and console players will receive exclusive in-game rewards as a thank you for waiting out the delay. So, will you be jumping in? MiHoYo has announced that Zenless Zone Zero is officially coming to Xbox this June, launching alongside the game's highly anticipated version 2.0 update. Already available on PlayStation, PC, and mobile, the urban fantasy action RPG will now hit Xbox with 4K visuals, 60 FPS, ray tracing, and full cross-progression support. Even better, it'll also be playable via cloud gaming, meaning no downloads for Game Pass Ultimate members. Version 2.0 introduces a brand new area called Wi-Fi Peninsula, plus more content, combat improvements, and fan-requested enhancements based on community feedback. Wishlisting is open now on the Microsoft Store, and it looks like Xbox players are in for a wild ride. After years of silence, Xbox Play Anywhere is suddenly back in the spotlight, and 2025 is shaping up to be a huge year for the cross-buy feature. But why now? Well, rumors point to an Asus Xbox handheld launching later this year, and that might just be the reason for the renewed focus. In a new interview with 4Gamer, Xbox's head of strategic markets, Agnes Kim, confirmed that while Play Anywhere remains optional for developers, Xbox is now actively working to expand the program and reach more players. Kim emphasized Xbox's long-term vision of allowing gamers to play anytime, anywhere, regardless of platform, pointing to a future where console games seamlessly land on PC and handheld alike. And the best part? Even if you're not eyeing that upcoming handheld, this push means more Play Anywhere titles for everyone: PC, Windows handheld users, and anyone who wants to double dip without double paying. According to a new report from Bloomberg, Nintendo may already have a stockpile of millions of Switch 2 consoles ahead of the system's June 5th release, thanks to an accelerated production in Vietnam. Customs data reveals that assembler Hoisin Corp shipped around 725,000 units in February alone, more than the previous 6 months combined. So why the rush? Nintendo appears to be dodging potential tariff hikes after learning that Vietnam, where about a third of Switch 2 consoles are made, was facing a 46% tariff increase, prompting delayed pre-orders in the US and Canada. While former President Trump has temporarily paused those increases for 90 days, except for China, analysts say Nintendo could take a margin hit if tariffs land at 10% or even raise prices by $50 or $100 if the full hike takes effect. No new US or Canadian pre-order date has been announced yet, and Nintendo says it's still watching the situation closely. Bloodborne producer Teruyuki Toriyama has teamed up with former Third Verse colleagues Tomohiro Suzuki and Hideki Iri to launch a brand new Tokyo-based studio called Sirius Studio. As reported by Famitsu, Sirius is a subsidiary of GZ Group and promises to focus on creator independence, a clear shift after the team amicably left Third Verse, which has recently pivoted to casual games. The founders, who once led high-end game production at Third Verse, say they're committed to building console and VR XR titles, including both original and third-party IPs designed to, quote, make users' hearts shine. With that pedigree behind it, Sirius Studio could be one to watch. Tequila Works, the acclaimed Madrid-based studio behind titles like Rime, Deadlight, The Sexy Brutale, and Song of Nunu, is auctioning off several of its game IPs and assets following an insolvency filing last November. According to listings on auction site Escripelia, 19 properties are up for grabs, including Rime, Guilt, The Invisible Hours, and a few in-development titles like The Ancient Mariner and open-world emotional adventure, and Dungeon Tour, a quirky co-op dungeon crawler. Currently, bids for Rime and Guilt are sitting at 15,500 yen each, with the auction set to close on May 14th of 2025. The fate of these IPs and whether they'll be completed depends on who picks them. It's always tough to see a creative studio close its doors, but with luck, Tequila Works' legacy can live on through the new hands. Now for some controversy. The French publisher has formally responded to a lawsuit from 2 California players who are suing over the shutdown of The Crew, Ubisoft's online-only racing game released in 2014. The plaintiffs claim Ubisoft gutted a product they paid for, leaving them with nothing playable once the servers were taken offline. Their lawsuit compares the shutdown to a pinball machine manufacturer sneaking into your home and removing all the parts. But in a rebuttal filed in February, Ubisoft argued the lawsuit is built on a flawed assumption that buying a physical copy of a game grants permanent ownership. Ubisoft says The Crew was always sold as a license for online access, not as a product guaranteed to work forever. The company pointed out that packaging for The Crew included disclaimers about online connectivity and potential service limitations, undermining claims of misrepresentation under California law. Meanwhile, the plaintiffs have countered with a photo of the game's box highlighting a license expiration date of 2099, which they say implies long-term access. The case underscores a growing tension between consumer expectations and how publishers define digital ownership, a legal debate that could ripple through the entire industry. And with that, that's going to wrap up this week's update. Plenty of big moves happening in the gaming world, from new launches to some pretty intense debates. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to hit us up with your thoughts on the latest news. Catch you next time, gamers.